Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play World of Tanks, and we are in the midst of a 15-year anniversary, so to speak, of Wargaming.net and their creation and founding and the release of several games. They started back in, 98? So they started off pretty small, developing a bunch of, turn-based strategies, most notably Massive Assault and, of course, Order of War, which Order of War is the one I'm a little more familiar with. It's very similar to Company Heroes in the whole turn-based World War II strategy. It takes place over in the, I believe it's the eastern or the western front, the push through Normandy and Hell's Highway, and then I think they have a German campaign that takes part in the eastern front, but I could be wrong on that one. I don't remember playing it too well. It was in '93, and that's pretty much when I was in. Or not 93, in 2009 rather. I don't know where I got 93 from, but yeah, that was when I graduated college, so I was probably a little busy with that, and then also I was still playing primarily Xbox at that time. Really disassociated myself with PC gaming for a while there, but yeah, I mean they had a bunch of good releases. I think I played it every now and again. I never really played it too much, and then of course in 2010, well, at least for Russia, and then 2011 for us, they released the World of Tanks, which we all are known to love, and we're actually playing right now. So, I mean, they've had a long history. 15 years is pretty good for a small game company like this. I mean, then again, they're not small by any sense of the word. They have about, 1,500, 1,400 employees. But needless to say, that's pretty impressive for a game company to make it 15 years without being swallowed up by a bunch of other companies, or still being, somewhat independent as opposed to being bought up by either EA or Activision or any of those sorts of places. So it's pretty impressive that they were able to do that and keep going the way they are, especially going on a free-to-play model. And so I just want to, kind of say that that's pretty awesome what they've gone through. And there's a few things on the horizon. I mean, they've gone through 15 years and they still have a bunch more projects planned. Obviously, we have World of Warplanes and World of Battleships, or Warships rather, both of which are coming out at least in 2013, maybe 2014 for Warships. I can always hope and pray that that'll be sooner. Then, of course, they have a World of Tanks Blitz, which is coming out, and that's a mobile version of World of Tanks. That really hasn't been talked about as to when that's going to be released, but it's supposedly going to be spit out somewhere along the lines of, it should be sometime this year, if I'm not mistaken. They did have a copy of it at Game Developers Conference that was playable. It's what is it? They say there's about 80 of the 300 tanks available to play on that, and it's also using only 3 of the currently available nations: the Germans, the Russians, and the Americans. And I can imagine that it's going to be pretty much about half size or a third size maps is what you're used to now. And it was supposedly 7-on-7 gameplay to make it a little more playable on a mobile platform. And in addition to that, they were talking how it is graphics are comparable to those of a console. So with that said, maybe they could push out something onto console. That would be pretty cool. I could easily see this game being playable with a Xbox controller. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. I mean, if you look at it, you got your forward controls using your WASD and your mouse controls controlling your view, which you can easily do with the left and right thumbsticks on an Xbox controller. So I can see it working out pretty well. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this little game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats of this one, and then we'll go ahead and move on to another one. Funny thing about this is I actually have my Luva crew selected, or Luva crew selected, but needless to say, a very short but quick battle there with the Type T-34, which actually is becoming one of my more favorite tanks, even, standing up against some of those Tier 6s pretty easily. That 57mm is nothing to shy away from, and it's pretty impressive. So, we see that I damaged, over half the team and then some, because it doesn't even show the other row of what I guess is 2 more people down below. So yeah, pretty fantastical right there. Getting 4 kills off the bat. What looks like 2,800 experience and 22,500 credits. So good little potential in this tank. It did very well. Of course, this being a triple times, I believe, when I recorded this one. And then, yeah, not too bad at all. Damage dealt looked like about 800, which is fantastic for its tier. Let's go take a look over at the team score here, and we see that I was underneath the T-49, so a TD was above me, but me and my buddy here, Nick, running both Type T-34s right next to each other in terms of our experience, and the damage output between me and the next closest person was a pretty good amount. You can see the next closest looks to be about 400 something, so about 300 damage in between, 250. So a very, very good game there in the fact that just able to pump out round after round after round going through tanks left and right. And that's the strength of the 57mm. It's just the ability to pump out a lot of rounds, have very good accuracy, and have pretty relevant penetration even up through tier 6 and into the beginnings of tier 7. Once you get into tier 7 though, you really need to either aim your shots very well or get to the sides and rear flanks in order to do anything. Taking a look at the detailed report though, we see I shot 19 times hitting 15, so missing 4, taken away my sniper, but not a big deal there. Penetrating 12 of those 15, so only 3 were bounces, not too shabby at all. And penetrating hit, or potential damage there, was 500 with 4 of them being hits, so I took quite a bit of damage. Luckily was able to sustain one of them for no damage, because otherwise I would have been dead, only having 450 hit points I believe. But 755 damage is nothing to shy away from, especially when you're slinging a tier 5 against tier 6s. And again, I said it was a very short round there, so not a bad game at all. I still really enjoy this tank and find it to be very relevant even in the circumstances where you wouldn't think it would be. That those tier 6 matches, you can still be pretty good with this thing, and it is very good. So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to another Chinese tank, shall we? Taking a look here at the Type 62, it's a premium tier 7 tank, and I've really started to like it a lot, actually. I've found it to be incredible once you figure out the nuances, and I'm still learning it. But one thing's for certain, this thing absolutely must be loaded with gold ammunition. And why is that? Well, as you take a look at the armor pen ammunition, it's 145 penetration. That's going to be rough to really do too much here when you see the types of tanks that it gets to see. But instead, we look at the gold ammunition, and it goes up to 245 or 250. That is an extra 100 pen on top of normal. That's unheard of for most types of tanks. Usually it only goes up about 20 or 30 or 40 penetration. This thing gains an extra 100. And when it runs gold ammunition, or premium ammunition, excuse me, it becomes really, really good. And there's no reason not to in this tank. It absolutely needs it. Other tanks, it's arguable you really don't need it. But this tank absolutely does, and it really benefits from it. It's one of the very few tanks that near doubles its penetration rate when throwing premium ammunition. And that, someone actually asked me a question about what the different types of ammunitions are and what they do exactly. And I mean, I covered that way back in the day, but I figure I'll touch upon it now while I run this video, because I do a little bit of hiding left and right in this video. I really kind of am starting to figure out the nuances to this tank and how to make it really deadly and potent. So, as you guys watch this, I'll talk about the different ammunition types. Starting off with, there are basically 3 different types of ammunition you're going to see on your tank. Now, they're going to go by different names. Some are going to use just standard armor penetration. Some are going to use AP, or was it ADPS or AP or ADPS, whatever. And then you're going to have heat, HE, Sabo. What else? Or is there Sabo? I'm not sure about that one. And then, I mean, there's a bunch of different types of rounds. I think there's upwards of 20 different named types or different variations of rounds. Probably a little less than that in the game, but it really comes down to 3 general types. You don't need to worry about which one is which. They really come down to, the easiest way to remember it is you got your red, your gold, and your orange. And that really translates to a penetrator type round, which is going to do direct damage if it penetrates the armor. It's going through and it's going to do straight health damage. You have your gold ammunition, otherwise known as your premium, and it's usually a combination of HE and AP or a stronger AP round. In this case, I believe it is a high explosive anti-tank round, which is funny because it actually has the same damage type as the standard armor pen round, but it does more penetration. So more or less, this is your, if you want to throw out other terms, this is a turbo penetrator round. It's going to go through things at a much easier rate Of course, it's not going to be auto pin on everything. You still got to worry about angles and slopes and, you know, distance and everything else. But it basically has extra penetration and sometimes extra damage. And that's something to really think of as I sit here and play around the ring around the rock with this Pershing and really do a good number on him as I really learn how to play this tank very well. Very much you need to keep mobile while you fire. Don't stand still, and use your speed to your advantage and your ability to outturn most tanks. Now, in addition to those 2 rounds that I mentioned, there's also a third type of round. And that is the orange round, or the high explosive round. Of course, it can go by different names. This one I think is just standard high explosive. And it is a round that when it hits, it does a sphere of damage. And whatever the weakest armor rate in that sphere is, which it can actually physically see, it's a line of sight model, it'll attempt to penetrate that at a standard 90-degree rate. And so that will either penetrate or not, and depending on how it does it, it can either end up doing its full damage rate, it's a higher damage rate if it actually penetrates. So if it penetrates, it's going to damage both HP, it's going to damage crew members in that area, and it's going to damage modules. So all those damage numbers are going to affect all that. Or if it doesn't penetrate, it's going to do a calculation and give you a damage based upon the surface damage, which still has a possibility of damaging modules on the surface level. So just because you cannot kill it, or you don't kill anything right off the bat, or anything like that, doesn't mean that the HE round isn't, or yeah, something like that. The HE round's still viable. What you use it for is for damaging people when they're very low in health, or resetting the cap. So it's really all situational. AP for your standard everyday, gold for when you really need to penetrate something, or if you're in a tank like mine and it really benefits you, or HE for when you need to do that little last bit of guaranteed damage to kill somebody off if they have like 50 or less, or you need to guarantee a reset of the cap because you'll hit them, it'll do some bit of damage, or might potentially track them, so on and so forth. So those are the very general broad type of damages there as to what is possible for the different types of rounds that you see in the game. Now, each round has their own variation. Some are slightly different than others, and that you really have to get into it. I really dumbed it down very simplistic there. So for my general loadout, almost every tank you're going to see me with is going to have, majority is going to be red, and then possibly 10 rounds of the gold penetration rounds in case I need them. Probably more likely 5, just in that emergency circumstance. And then probably 5 or 10 HE rounds as well, just in case I absolutely need to do damage or absolutely need to score a guarantee a cap reset. Now, HE isn't a guarantee that you're going to hit a reset. Sometimes it will bounce off and do no damage, but you have a little bit likelier chance. So that's generally my recommendation for most battle tanks. Of course, there's your exceptions. You get stuff like you get different types of artillery which can feature the different rounds. Generally, there your primary is going to be the HE, with gold actually adding additional splash size, and AP rounds a possibility because I have my GW Tiger, but I only carry about 2 of those, the majority of them HE in that tank. And of course, then you get the random exceptions where there's certain tanks that get what's known as a derp cannon, which is a howitzer cannon attached to a tank. Most notably, the Electo, the Hetzer, the 105s on both the Sherman and the Panzer IV, and then the what is that thing? The VK 2802 or 2801, and then also the Alpha Rung Panther, or the Light Reconnaissance Panther. Those are all called derp guns. Generally, for those, you'll load either your gold ammunition if you want to do high damage penetration rounds, which are, you know, it's fantastic, or you load HE if you want to just plain annoy people and get lots of heavy damaging hits. So that's pretty much it for an ammunition explanation. Let's go ahead and check out the stats on this one, where I absolutely crushed that poor little Pershing and then got off those, captured those 2 little pieces of artillery and then got another random kill and an awesome little fly off the hill having to repair. Alright, let's go take a look at those stats. Oh, you'll have to forgive me for the long chatter that I had there about, you know, random stuff and whatnot else. But anyway, as we take a look at the personal score here, I actually got first class on this tank. Not too shabby, and earned myself a scout, one of the rarer medals that I actually earn. I have maybe a handful of those, maybe like 3 or 4. So scout's few and far between for me. Just generally my playstyle doesn't really allow me to get scout very often. And that crazy careening off the hill, I think, earned it for me. So, and then of course the first class for all the spotting I did, and in addition the crazy amounts of damage and killing that Pershing probably helped it out quite a bit. But earning 50,000 credits there and near 3,000 experience, not too shabby. That one was a double, so I know that one for a fact. So that was pretty cool, actually. I did pretty well. I was very proud of myself for that. But, just learning the playstyle of the tank really opened it up to me. And I mean, this tank really does speak to me. It's a very aggressive, light assault tank. It's not a scout, even though you can kind of do that early on. This tank really is meant to kind of flank and get around and then start bugging people with flanking and rear shots, as you saw right there, how I got around behind him. I started really laying into the Pershing there. But as we go on to the team score, we see that I was up there in damage, right? I don't have it sorted by that. I actually have it sorted by experience, in which case I did second place in our team. But damage-wise, I hung out up there, probably, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that had more damage than me. Maybe 7. So, I mean, I did alright. Not exactly, the best in the world, but, for being a little tier 7 scout in a tier 9 match, or tier 7 light attack tank, can't say scout, I did pretty well. I mean, I'm proud I got 4 kills there in addition to the damage I was able to do. But hey, I mean, this tank is fun. It is not, a serious tank by any means. You're not going to win or lose games with this thing alone. But this is a really fun tank to play, and I really do enjoy it. And I really am glad that I ended up getting it as a gift from Sapphire Fox. He recommended it, and he was dead on. I enjoy it. It's a fun tank when you learn it. So, as we go on to the detailed report, we see that even with all that gold ammunition expended, or premium ammunition, I was able to still recoup about 1,200 credit, or 12,000 credits. Not too bad at all. I did receive 4 potential hits, though, for just under 900 damage, shooting 11 times, hitting 9 of them, so very close to getting sniper had I just hit one more of those, or maybe both of them that I missed, but not too shabby, not too big of a deal. Ended up detecting 9 enemies, the exact amount I needed to get scout, and of course, traveling all over the place, 3.5 kilometers, not too bad. But overall, really fun tank. As you see there, it really is meant to just get to flanks and really start getting all over people, and then using its speed as its advantage to try and dodge shots, weave in and out. And of course, this tank really needs to throw premium ammunition. It's like very important that it does. It makes a huge difference when you see that gap in the difference in your penetration rate. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into some premium matches here. I'm going to do those live as I do them right now because I kind of need to earn more money for my tier 10 that I was talking about the last time, but that's going to update just a bit.
Let's get this show on the road.
So now I'm in absolute moneymaker mode, and the reason being because Wargaming has a sale on right now where all tier 10s and their predecessors down to tier 8s, so 8s, 9s, and 10s, are on sale one at a time. So one line is going to be on sale every 15 days for half a month. And they're going to be on sale for 30%. And so right now is the IS-7. And so that's actually what I'm going to start working towards. I mean, as much as I want the 62A, right now the IS-7 is a little bit juicy with that 30% off sale. So while the... What do you want to say? While the IS-7 is certainly not as, potent in Clan Wars as the T-62A, and I want the T-62A, it's too hard to pass up that IS-7 and the deal that's on it right now. So I might have to go and end up picking that one up first, depending on how things go. 15 days is not a lot of time to kind of grind out those types of credits. I am close, though, so I can't do both, but I'll probably be able to do the IS-7, no problem. But we'll see, because I'm going to spend, some days on the weekends just simply grinding credits left and right, and then that's about it. Just to try and make up that cash and get over there to what I want to get, which is the 62A. Now with this sale though, I kind of want to get make a little challenge to myself, and that is, if I can, being if I have access to or I haven't already purchased them all, I want to buy at least one tank from this sale every 15 days. So either that means grind up to a tier 8 if I can and then get the credits to run it, or something along those lines, move up from an 8 to a 9, or move in from a 9 to a 10. All of which are easily doable, especially at a 30% sale. And that'd be really awesome and kind of what I want to do, because you really, I mean, there's no way you can really argue with the savings there, because 30% is a lot, and it really does make a difference when you're trying to grind up a bunch of tanks all at the same time. Being able to make that 30% up is huge, because otherwise you go from 4 million as the sale sits now to 6 million, and that extra 2 million is a lot. You might not think it, but when you're sitting there grinding day in and day out, it adds up quickly as to the time spent. Oof, not ready for this yet. I thought I could climb up and over, but I got hit by HE. So let me retreat a little bit as I take some hits. I didn't know I was spotted. Let's see here. So I'm getting hit. Nothing special's hitting me though, so I don't know what it is, but I don't want to, take any major hits. I'm gonna go up and around this way. I'm getting hit by the T-21 by the looks of it. Okay, good to know. So he's over here. I didn't know I was spotted though. But I'm gonna go down here with Scorpion, as we're gonna go the safe way around here, without plummeting into the ocean, mind you. And we're going to try and get behind the IS-6 and the 69 and try to avoid some of the things up here. So we have a 3601 DB. Let's see if I can't actually hit him instead of just missing left and right. So this tank's not really known as a sniper tank. Alright, I've stood there enough. Nothing else really to see or shoot at. Ooh, we got the Easy 8. So we'll go after him real quick. Of course, this takes a long time to range in. I might have to swap to a, try and cover from up above. I might have to swap to a different module here and go like a shell rammer or something just to make it a little bit easier to aim in. Because this isn't, ouch, I'm getting hit bad. Alright, and he's getting crushed down there. I really should have went down there with him and supported him. Now I feel bad. Oh well. Yeah, at those long range shots I should aim in. But, is what it is. Yeah, that wasn't a smart idea for him. So there's the KV-2. There's some stuff over there. I'm getting hit left and right by some stuff. I can't spot this guy who's right there, sadly. I am taking a bunch of bouncing hits, though. And of course, I really haven't learned how to exclusively use this tank properly yet. It's still very much a work in progress for me. I really don't know how to make it so that I can, bounce every single hit off me. Of course, that 21's hitting me left and right. That's kind of getting a little old. We've already lost a few tanks down there. We only have one guy up on the ridge. He doesn't have much in the way of support. Probably should have helped him if I could have. I can get down here and probably crush... Man, I don't have the aim time for this. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and head down. Because they're not doing much to me. So if I can get down here, stop that 62 or 69. Oop, track myself as a result. Kill this IS-6 the best I can. Then we're going to be in good shape. But we need to repair track. There we go. Alright, there's the 69. Bounced off his turret. No problems there. IS-6 heading directly at me. Come on. Alright, took that shell. No problems. Alright, so that guy's down. Now we need to take care of this IS-6. Any day now. 4, 3, 2. Missing stuff being shot at me. Come on, let's get around to the flank and take this guy out. Of course, he just put himself in a bad position there. Oh, come on. 27 hit points, and now I'm down to one shot because I got a tank shelling me left and right. There we go. Nice. Alright. Had to concentrate there for a split second. Alright, so we need to get out of the line of sight of that tank. And I'm like partially submerged here. Tracks are damaged and down to 300 hit points. Oh man, there's an IS-3 I need to contend with, so he's kind of going to block me from going anywhere. Got a Hellcat shooting at me. Got a 34 over there I can only hope that our team takes care of. That is going to be rough. I don't want to go this way. So anyway, yeah. Where was I? About working towards that tanks? Yeah, so 62A, as much as I want it, it's going to be on the secondary. If I can get that IS-7, now's the time to do it because it is on sale. That was fantastic. They announced that pretty much right as I said that's what I want to do. So I'm by no means arguing at all with the fact that I want to pick up some tier 10 tanks and they put them on sale. Let's see if I can. I don't want to go cruising around a bend. I need this 62A to help me or somebody to help me. And of course we have some guys just hanging out there. I don't want to go around the bend and get nailed by that IS-3. I want him to be committed. Yeah, they see me over here. Alright, yeah, I want them to be committed before I really do anything else. So until something else happens, 32, hopefully our tanks can take it. We do have the tanks over there to deal with it. We have artillery. We have a 30. Our JP4 probably isn't going to be much help. Oh, now where is their IS-3? I don't want to take a hit from him because he will probably penetrate and go through me and potentially kill me if he rolls high enough. His average damage is enough to kill me. So we're going to stay here. Ooh, here's the VK. So let's get a nice shot on him. Bounce, of course. Or not a bounce, but a no damage hit. So let's see if we can't do that one again. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? If we can get him killed and or he dies. I'll take he dies as much as me killing him. Can't believe I got a 0 damage hit there, but what do you want from me? It is what it is. Alright, no shot there. Should have, could have, should have, would have, but didn't. Alright, I'm going to play freaking hide and go seek with this guy. I'm guaranteeing it, and that IS-3 is probably looking right at me. So, kind of trapped. He knows what he's doing. That IS-3 knows what he's doing. So not a whole heck of a lot I can do about it yet. Just going to have to wait and play this one safe. Alright, so I dropped spot. He looked real quick. He saw that one. He knew what he wanted. Sadly, our 69's sitting here. Alright, so we took out all their good tanks. Nice! Alright, we took out all their heavy tanks except their IS-3 and their KV-2, which can dirt me and kill me. What, again, would be nice is if our team helped me here. Because I need that 69 to help. I really, really need him. I don't want to go around this bend. I'm going to sit here and play, and this is the sad part, is playing this type of a game here. So, I got to basically sit here and wait, and this guy's going to probably bounce off me or do just a little bit of damage. Not too worried about how much damage he's going to do. I just don't think I can get a hit off on him at all. So, with that said, I got him. Haha! He went the wrong time. Just had to wait. That's it. Okay, now we have the Hellcat. I need to let them know that I'm going to need help. Because I can't take a hit from that. Well, that artillery can crush me. That KV-2 can hit me with derp and hurt me pretty fiercely. And then that IS-3 can easily crush me. And they know that I'm over here. So that's one of the major problems, is they know I'm here. So I gotta sneak around. I can probably sneak around. But beyond that, I'm going to be in trouble. So let's get up in here. And then I'm going to move as quick as I can for security to be right here. Okay. Now, sadly, we're quickly running out of time. We have 4 minutes left. So, everyone needs to push. Quickly, please. Alright, so I'm going to hopefully get around here without being spotted. Alright, so the Hellcat's over there. That's one major useful thing. Hopefully they can kill that Hellcat. He should be easy enough to kill. Or not. Because that M41 just killed our Tiger. So now I gotta cruise all this way by myself. 3 minutes left to do so. Probably not gonna be able to do too much. We're gonna have to hope for the best. Because if I get any prolonged gunfight, the time's gonna tick down. 3 minutes left. Come on, we can do it. Oh. There's their Hellcat. They better kill it. That 69 really should be up here with me. But he's not, sadly. Alright. So we're going to have to do this ourselves. We're going to find this IS-3, and it's going to hurt like no other if I survive. Alright. No IS-3 randomly hiding there. Good news so far. See if we can't find their artillery. Going up over this hill is going to suck a little bit. Because I'm going to be spotted if anything's here. This thing can luckily backpedal like I am going out of style. I like how I'm like constantly checking over my shoulder. Because I just know something's going to be looking at me. Alright, so I don't see anything here, and there's the IS. Alright, not good, because that means artillery's ranging in on me. So let's speed down this hill. Whee, just like this. Alright, now I gotta deal with artillery. Ooh, he doesn't have the upgraded gun. I might actually have a... Crap, where did he come from? Come on, snapshot. Yeah. Now I got 7 seconds and I better run. Oh, and I don't want to run in front of him. Nope, couldn't do it. IS-3 was able to get me. Sadly, there was not a lot I could do there. Didn't think with the gun he had he'd be able to one-shot me like that, but I guess he rolled high, and that... I wish I killed that 41. Oh well. That was a good attempt. Let's pop back in for when the round finishes, though. So, sadly, that one drew out. As you can see, I did, quite a bit of spotting and kills and damage and whatnot else. Sadly, I couldn't kill that M41. And then, of course, that really hurt me when I was trying to tackle that IS-3. He was able to get through me. He rolled very high. Lucky for him, sadly unlucky for me. I never can seem to get those. It just never works out that way for me. Team score-wise, as you can see, not too bad. I didn't do all that much damage. It looked like a little more than I really did, but I got 4 kills. A lot of them were low tiers, but, not too bad. Highest on our experience range, and for the detailed, 6,000 damage bounced, 30 shells taken. If I had only, survived that IS-3 and or God knows what else, maybe I would have been able to do something, but didn't happen that way. Didn't see that artillery, which was funny when I poked over that hill. I'm surprised about that one. And, of course, getting the track on him instead of killing him. But, oh well, there you have it. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next episode, which, hopefully, by that time, I will have earned my IS-7 or 62A. We'll find out. Or there'll be more of me grinding for credits. Anyway, catch you guys then.